Let's introduce Leo Martinez, a barista with a grin that could charm a stone and a life that's a little less shiny than he lets on. He's 23, wiry and quick on his feet, with dark curls that flop into his eyes and a faded leather jacket he wears like armor. He works at Brewhaven, a hip little coffee shop in the heart of the city, slinging lattes and cracking jokes to keep the regulars smiling. He's the guy who remembers your order before you say it, who doodles cartoon cats on to-go cups just to see kids laugh. But behind the easy charm, Leo's scraping by, living in a shoebox apartment with a leaky faucet, saving every tip to move somewhere bigger, somewhere he can breathe. Leo's an optimist, though. Grew up in a loud, crowded house with 3 sisters and a mom who worked double shifts, so he learned early to find the bright side. He dreams of opening his own cafe one day, a place with live music and mismatched chairs, but for now, he's stuck steaming oat milk and dodging rent hikes. Animals? He loves them, used to sneak scraps to the neighborhood strays as a kid, even nursed a pigeon with a busted wing back to health once. But his landlord's got a strict no pets rule, and Leo's too broke to risk it. It's March 8, 2025, and the sun's dipping below the skyline, painting the city in shades of orange and gray. Leo's just finished a double shift, his sneakers scuffed and his back aching. He's hauling a trash bag out to the alley behind the cafe, the air thick with exhaust and the hum of traffic. The alley's a mess, overflowing dumpsters, flickering streetlights, the kind of place you don't linger. He's about to chuck the bag and head home when he hears it, a tiny, ragged mew, so soft he almost misses it. He pauses, trash bag dangling, and listens. There it is again, coming from near the dumpster. Leo's not the cautious type, he's the guy who'd climb a tree to save a kite, so he drops the bag and crouches down. There, wedged between the dumpster and the wall, is a kitten. It's a scrawny thing, black with one white paw, its tail a mangled mess of blood and fur. It's so weak it can barely lift its head, but its green eyes flicker up at him, a faint spark in the gloom. Leo's stomach twists. "Ah, man, what happened to you?" he mutters, his voice low. He's no vet, hell, he can barely afford his own groceries, but he's seen enough strays to know this little guy's in bad shape. His mind spins, I should call someone. Animal control? Nah, they'll just cage it. I can't leave it here, though, it won't last the night. He glances at his watch, 7:42 p.m. The vet's a few blocks away, but he's got no car, no cash, and a shift tomorrow at 6 a.m. Still, those eyes hold him like a magnet. He grabs an empty pastry box from the trash pile and kneels closer, whispering, "Hang on, buddy. We're gonna figure this out." Leo's crouched in the alley, the pastry box in one hand, the kitten's faint mews echoing in his ears. The city's alive around him, horns blaring, a siren wailing somewhere, but here, it's just him and this tiny, broken thing. He's no stranger to hard luck. He's been scraping by since he was old enough to bus tables. But this? This feels personal, like the universe dropped a test in his lap and he's got no cheat sheet. "Come on, little guy," he says, his voice low and coaxing, the way he'd talk to his kid sisters when they skinned their knees. The kitten's a mess, its tail a bloody tangle, its ribs sharp under patchy black fur. It tries to move, but its legs wobble, and it slumps back with a pitiful squeak. Leo's heart does a flip. Man, you're too small for this world. He sets the box down and reaches out, slow, like he's defusing a bomb. The kitten hisses, a weak, raspy sound, but doesn't swipe. Progress. He scoops it up, gentle as he can, and tucks it into the box. It's light as a coffee cup, barely there, and that scares him more than the blood does. He straightens up, glancing around the alley. Vet. Now. Problem is, he's got no wheels, his bike's chained up out front, useless for this, and the nearest clinic's a half-mile away. He sprints back into Brewhaven, box cradled against his chest, and yells, "Jess! Need your keys, emergency!" Jess, his co-worker with the nose ring and the beat-up Honda, looks up from wiping the counter. "What the hell, Leo?" He tilts the box, showing the kitten's dazed eyes. "Found it out back." It's dying, man. She curses but tosses him the keys. Don't scratch it, or you're dead. He's already out the door, hollering, "Oh, you won." The drive's chaos, Leo weaving through traffic, the kitten mewing every time he hits a pothole. "Hang on, buddy, we're almost there," he mutters, one hand on the wheel, the other steadying the box. He's broke, rent's due in a week, and he's got $12 in his account, but he shoves that thought down. The vet's a squat building with a faded sign, and he screeches into the lot, barging in with the box like a madman. "Got a hurt kitten," he shouts. The receptionist, a guy with a buzz cut, waves him to the exam room. A vet in scrubs takes over, peering into the box. "Tail's bad, caught in something, maybe a fan belt. Malnourished too. We'll need x-rays, fluids, maybe surgery." Leo nods, breathless. "Yeah, whatever it takes." The vet raises an eyebrow. "You covering this?" Leo hesitates, then grins, that old charm kicking in. Yeah. Work something out with me later?" The vet shrugs. "We'll see." They take the kitten back, and Leo slumps against the wall, jacket damp with alley grime. His phone buzzes, Jess texting, "You owe me coffee for a month." He laughs, shaky, and checks the time, 8:03 p.m. Shift tomorrow, no sleep tonight, and a vet bill he can't pay. But then he thinks of those green eyes, faint but fighting, and something in him settles. He's not walking away, not yet. Leo's slumped in the vet's waiting room, jacket crumpled under him, his phone at 3% from scrolling cat care tips. It's past 9 p.m., and his shift's looming in 8 hours, but he's not leaving, not until he knows. The vet bill's a ghost hovering over him, $2.85 so far, with more to come if the kitten needs extras. He's already mentally trading ramen for weeks to cover it, but those green eyes keep flashing in his mind, small and stubborn. The vet steps out at 9:32 p.m. Tail's amputated, too mangled to save, but she's stable. Fluids helped. "You can take her tonight, just keep her quiet." "She." "A girl." Leo grins, tired but relieved. "Yeah, I got this." He pays with a mix of cash and a promise to settle the rest later, and they hand him a cardboard carrier with a drowsy kitten inside, plus a syringe of antibiotics and a stern, "Feed her every few hours." His apartment's a 5th-floor walk-up, and he climbs slow, cradling the carrier like it's glass. Inside, it's a mess, pizza boxes, a sagging couch, a faucet dripping into a bowl. He sets the kitten down and opens the flap. She's a scrap of black fur, white paw stark against the stubs where her tail used to be. "You're a fighter, huh?" he says, and names her Dusk, for the alley, for the time he found her. The first night's a crash course. He rigs a bed from an old sweater, sets it by the couch, and warms milk in a mug, diluting it like Google said. The syringe is tricky, Dusk squirms, mewing hoarsely, but he gets a few drops in, her tongue flicking out. "There you go, champ," he whispers, stroking her head with a finger. She's so small it scares him, but her purring, faint, like a broken motor, keeps him going. Days stretch thin. He works shifts, then races home to feed her, bleary-eyed and wired on free espresso. Jess covers for him when he's late, smirking, "You're such a sap." He doesn't argue. Dusk's his shadow now, she watches him from her sweater nest, eyes brighter each day. He talks to her while he cooks, or burns, ramen, "Gonna get you fat and sassy, wait and see." She bats at his shoelaces one morning, a clumsy swipe, and he laughs so hard he nearly drops his coffee. By day 6, she's wobbling around, stumpy tail end wiggling like she doesn't know it's gone. He crafts a toy from a straw and string, and she pounces, a tiny hunter. One night, he sprawled on the couch, Dusk curled on his chest, purring loud enough to drown out the faucet. His landlord'd flip, no pets, but Leo doesn't care. This cramped, leaky place feels less empty with her in it. He scratches her chin, murmuring, "We're a team now, huh?" Her eyes slit shut, and for the first time in months, Leo feels like he's exactly where he's supposed to be. It's been a month since the alley, and Leo's apartment's transformed. The pizza boxes are gone, mostly, replaced by a scratching post he built from scrap wood and twine. Dusk rules the place now, a pint-sized queen with a stumpy tail end and a purr that rattles the walls. She's filled out, still small, but her black fur sleek, her white paw bright flag as she darts around. Leo's different too, his grin's wider, his step lighter, even with the vet bill paid off in coffee-fueled overtime. Their routine's a dance. Mornings, Dusk leaps onto his chest, mewing until he drags himself up to fill her bowl. He's late to Brewhaven half the time, but Jess just smirks and pours him an espresso, muttering, "Cat dad life, huh?" After shifts, he's home, tossing a jingle ball for Dusk to chase, her clumsy pounces ending in triumphant bats. The faucet still drips, but now it's background noise to her purrs as they sprawl on the couch, Leo sketching cafe ideas while she naps on his notebook. The bond's electric. One night, he's strumming an old guitar, out of tune, but he's no pro, and Dusk hops up, batting the strings like it's a game. He laughs, setting it aside to scoop her up, her paws kneading his shirt. Another day, she follows him to the door as he leaves for work, mewing like she's scolding him, and he promises, back soon, trouble. She's there when he returns, a tiny shadow waiting by the mat. He snuck her into his jacket once or twice, dodging the landlord with a grin, rules be damned. The struggles are fading memories. Leo's still broke, still dreaming of that cafe, but Dusk shifted something. He started a tip jar at work labeled Dusk's Treat Fund, and regulars chip in, charmed by her story. One evening, he's rigging a shelf for her to climb, and she leaps up before it's done, perching like a gargoyle. "You're fearless," he tells her, and she blinks, green eyes glinting. She's his spark, proof he can keep something alive, even on a shoestring. One quiet night, they're on the fire escape, city lights sprawling below. Dusk's curled in his lap, purring as he strokes her back. "We made it, huh," he says, voice soft. He used to feel alone here, chasing a future that never got closer, but now there's her, his partner in chaos. She's taught him kindness isn't just scraps for strays, it's a promise, a fight worth winning. As the stars peek out, he knows they're in this together, a scrappy duo thriving against the odds. That's Leo and Dusk's tale, from a dark alley to a bright little life, all because of one guy's big heart. It's proof kindness can bloom anywhere, right? If you loved this, subscribe now, you won't want to miss the next story of rescue and redemption coming your way.